Hey there, welcome back to another Monday Mobility. Today is another rolling session. We're focusing on your lower body. You will need a ball. Now, normally I say if you haven't got a ball, I'll show you options with the foam roller. Today we are only using the ball. So if you don't have a ball, if you are new to sessions, then don't worry. I haven't told you this before. If you have been doing sessions with me for a while and I've suggested getting a ball before and you haven't got one, think about getting one. You can get like dog balls, 3 for £1, or you used to be able to. I haven't bought any recently, but they don't have to be a snazzy, expensive special foam rolling ball. They can just be a tennis ball, or as I say, a dog ball or something. So if you haven't got a ball now, think about when you're going to get that ball and where you're going to keep it so it's close so you can use it in sessions with me. But if you haven't got a ball, go off and do a different session. Look back through the previous Monday Mobility. Don't spend ages trying to find the perfect session. Just look for one that you think you might have enjoyed previously. Have a go with that one instead. But if you've got a ball, let's get started. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I would use a ball for rolling. And the two, well, a few of them actually, but primarily I'll often see people trying to roll their hamstrings by sitting on their foam roller and going up and down like this, or trying to roll their calves by going up and down like this. And personally, I don't think that is very effective. It gives you an upper body workout, but it doesn't really get in there to where you want to get into. So today we're going to focus more on how you can use a ball for both of those. Starting with your hamstrings, you want something firm to sit on. So a chair, but if your chair's got a kind of cushion on it or something, take the cushion off if you can, but if you can't, maybe put a chopping board or something solid on top. So you're sitting on something fairly solid. It's a good one to do in the gym as well. Take your ball and place it just around the back of your knees. So just kind of underneath your thigh, around the back of your knee. And then you're just going to go left to right with your leg. Swinging, not stillily swinging, but swinging the leg in, lifting it up as you come out, lifting it out to the side as you come in. That'll make sense as you do it. So you're going all the way from the inside of your thigh to the outside, working all the way along. So we're doing the back of the hamstring. You'll find there's two strings running from the back of your knee down towards your sit bone, sort of the two main parts of that hamstring. But then you can also go to the inside and start to work into your adductors, the inside thigh. So take the foot all the way out to the side, bring your knee all the way in and really work down the inside of the thigh. Now, I've already filmed this session. I filmed it 10 minutes ago, but when I finished recording it, for some reason, the sound wasn't working. So here I am recording it again. If you had seen the first session, I was about to say you'd have heard me. You wouldn't have heard me because there was no sound, but you'd have seen me go, whoo, as I sat down and realized how tight my hamstrings were. They're not normally tight for me, so it was a bit of a shock. But having recorded this session already, having worked all the way up and down my hamstrings, they feel a lot better now. So I only spent, I don't know, 90 seconds per leg, and I can feel the difference now. They still need more work, but I can feel the difference now of how they felt before and how they feel now. So, you know, it really does work, does make a difference. So you're working that ball all the way down. Now, as I'm going here, I know that I need to come back and do a bit more. I needed to do a lot more when I only recorded one session. Having recorded two, they're going to feel a bit better. But I can feel I need to do more. So I'm not going to spend ages on each leg. We're working through, so you've got an idea of what to do, but you might need to come back and revisit. So getting towards the sit bone now and just kind of hitching that hip up so you can work through there. You don't need to do the whole of the glute. We're going to do that separately afterwards, but working round. That hamstring comes in to attach there around the sit bone, so just working through that area there. And then onto the other side. You can have two balls and do both legs at the same side. I kind of find, yes, it should save time, but I find I don't really get into it so well. I become a bit absent-minded. I'm not really focusing on what I'm doing, but you decide for yourself. But let's go on to the second leg now. And if you've done both legs together, you can go again. And again, remembering to work that inside of the thigh as well. There's no real way that I've found to effectively roll your adductors, the muscles down the inside of your thighs. This is probably the best way, and you're not going to hit all of them. We have 4 different adductor muscles running through the inside there, but you can certainly get to, adductor brevis, adductor magnus, I can't remember. But anyway, the adductor that is closest to your hamstring, closest to the back of your leg, you could be getting in there. As I say, swing that foot out to the side as you come down. Working all the way down inside of the thigh, back of the thigh. And then as you get towards the sit bone, making sure you take time to really work into that sit bone as well. So just hitch up the hip. I'm not properly sitting on the ball that side. I've still got the weight on the other bum cheek, but I've hitched up the hip so I can work all the way around. Woohoo, that's a bit tight in there, and work around that sit bone area. Now you could go on and do your glutes straight away now. If you find it's helpful sitting on this seat to work into the glutes, you could carry on working through there. But I want to go on to show you a few other bits that maybe you haven't tried before. So we're going on to your calves with the ball underneath the leg. So again, you could do both legs. I think it's probably easier just to do one leg at a time and really focus. Have that ball underneath the ankle. And you want to work all the way around the ankle there. Particularly if you have grumbly Achilles, make sure you're spending a bit of time here around the back. You don't want to roll onto the bone, and you don't want to roll anything that feels uncomfortable, but we're just trying to loosen up that area so that so that the muscle can move more freely, and so the fascia, the kind of clingy, almost looks like cling film stuff that surrounds all of our muscles, that's loosened up. So often we'll find it, especially around the back of the Achilles, if you have a grumbly Achilles, it can get very sticky there. We just want to make sure everything's gliding freely, so just loosening everything up. Fascia, if you haven't heard of it or you're not sure, is if you think of a lamb chop. Yes, sorry for veggies, but if you've seen a lamb chop anyway, the kind of stuff, as I say, it looks a bit like cling film that surrounds the muscle. That's your fascia. That runs all the way through our body, surrounding all of our muscles, essentially kind of holding everything in place. And we want it to glide really freely. So we need to be drinking enough water that it's hydrated. We need to be moving so that it is used to moving rather than getting stuck, like a gate that you never open gets stuck. And we want to make sure anything that's getting a bit stuck, we're working through our mobility work. Let's go on to the other leg, but also through things like foam rolling and massage. So working around the back of the ankle again, spending a bit of time. Foot going left to right. So this is another advantage of working with a ball rather than a foam roller, that we can really do the sides of our calves. If you do the foam roller, you're only really doing the back of the calf. Here we can get into the sides and we can really find those trigger points as well. And if you find anywhere, as always, anything that feels a bit ouchy, like we don't want to go to the point of ouch, we don't want to be tensing up, we just want to keep loosening things up. So put less pressure in so it doesn't feel too hard, and maybe work around the surrounding area. So there you go, I found a knot there. I could either just gently put pressure on it and breathe through it, or I can work that surrounding area, loosening up the area around it until I can then get into that point, and it should feel okay by the point you get there. If you carry on that second leg, and I just wanted to show you, if you are somebody who finds that you get tightness around the front of your shins, you can try having the ball and work through there, but often the ball then just goes spinning off. If you have two balls, because you've gone to the shop at the Poundland and you've got your 3 balls for £1, you've got your 1 ball to roll with, and then you've got 2 more, you can tape them together with either some physio tape or some sort of a big band of elastoplast. So you make a peanut, technically called, or you can buy a peanut, and then that can be really effective for rolling through your shin there. So the shin bone goes down the middle, and so you're probably just rolling the outside there, but it just keeps it moving easily rather than spinning out to the side. So if you know that you get tight at the front there, either get yourself a peanut or take 2 balls together. Okay, so we've done our shins, we've done our calves, we've done our hamstrings. We're going to go on to our feet. So you can do this in seated or standing. You can even be doing this, sitting at work with the ball under the desk, so long as you actually kind of are paying attention to your work, I guess, but also to what you're doing. And you want to be rolling the ball of your foot and the inside of your foot. I'm going to sit down to do it so I can talk to you more easily, but you can do it in seated or standing. So working along the ball of your foot, you can try raising up your toes as you do that as well. So you're just putting that area on a little bit more stretch or relaxing it down, depends what it feels like for you. If you're with a tennis ball, it will be quite soft, so it won't get in there quite as much. Your foot obviously takes all of your body weight all of the time, so you want something ideally a bit harder to get in there. But a tennis ball is definitely better than nothing. Golf balls work really well. If there's a golf course near you, and there's often golf balls escape out of the golf course onto the road at the side. I don't know whose they are. I don't know what the ethics are, but you could give a golf ball a good home, take it home and use it for rolling your foot. Swap over onto the other side, or you could buy a golf ball. But this ball here, because it's really firm, is absolutely adequate. This ball here, for those of you who haven't heard me say it a million times before, you can use a tennis ball, you can use a spiky ball. I'm not a fan of the spiky balls, they're spiky and uncomfortable, but you absolutely can if that's what you've got. These are the ball. This is the ball from Black Rock, which I absolutely love. It's really firm, so really good for working into, but it's also really light, so you can pack it in your hand luggage, take it with you if you're traveling to a race or something, or big bike trip. And those of you who've heard the story a million times, apologies, but I've done a race over the Pyrenees a few times where you go from the west coast to the east coast to the west coast in a week, carrying all your own stuff, going over every mountain that you can find in that journey. And I always take this ball with me, because for me, even though every gram is important when you're training when you're packing for a race like that, for me the ball is that important that I know I will sleep better and I'll perform better the next day if I just have a quick roll at the end of the day. So we've done your feet. Then the final bit is your glutes. You can either sit on the ball, or I prefer to go up against the wall, and then I can really adjust the pressure I'm putting in. I can push backwards into the wall, or if it feels too hard, I can back that pressure off, working all the way through. You can obviously do your shoulders as well, but we're just focusing on your lower leg today. And you can also, and this works better if you're on a wall, as well as doing your kind of bum, your big back of your bum there, you can get into the top there. So just sort of the top of the glutes as it goes into the lower back, and that can be really effective if that's feeling tight and quite hard to get in there other ways. So working through all of those areas. You guys carry on your glutes onto the other side now, and I'll just show you. I would use, if I had the choice, I would use a foam roller for rolling my quads, the front of my thighs. But if I was doing a bikepacking trip through the Pyrenees and I only had my ball with you, I've also taken a foam roller once, a little foam roller, but if I only had my ball with me, then just to show you, you can also do your quads similar to what you did with your hamstrings. You're just going to have it underneath and do that cross friction side to side. So if you only have a ball, you can still really effectively work through your quads. It's just easier to do up and down with the foam roller. And you can also do, and probably better than with a foam roller, do the inside of your knee there. Any of you who get that ouchy knee that know you need to do a bit of rolling, I do, through the inside of your knee, you can do that really well with the ball as well. So just showing you pretty much all bases of your lower body ticked with that ball. I was going to say, if you haven't got one, get one, but clearly if you're still watching now, hopefully you have. But there's some things you can do with it. So using it just to loosen things up, remembering if as we went through that, anything was still feeling a bit tight, we're just kind of skipping through there, making a note at some point to come back and have a little bit more of a work through wherever it was feeling particularly tight. But for now, give yourself credit for showing up, for doing the session. I hope you have the rest of a very good day. Take care.